Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing well. So today, for those who have been following, know I've been doing this story since the very beginning when the first person was charged. So today, in the Sweetie Pie's drama, that this Sweetie Pie's welcome to Sweetie Pie's trial or case, I should say. The first person was sentenced today. The first person in this case was sentenced today. We know that he was, I think, one of the last people to be charged and I guess caught or charged, but one of the first people to make a plea bargain. And so as a result, his sentencing was today. The United States Attorney's Office, Eastern District of Missouri, Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney's Office, again in the Eastern District of Missouri. Um, Today, October 20th, 2022, today, U.S. District Judge John A. Ross on Thursday sentenced a St. Louis man who unlived a reality show star nephew to 32 years in prison. Travell Anthony Hill, 31, pleaded guilty in June to one count of conspiracy to commit for hire, one count of for hire in the unliving of Andre Montgomery on March 14, 2016. In court today, Thursday, October 20th, 2022, Hill reaffirmed what he'd admitted in his plea agreement. He admitted meeting with Montgomery uncle James Timothy Norman on the day of the crime. He admitted understanding that Norman wanted his nephew Andre Montgomery taken out, and that a woman would provide him with Montgomery's location so he could commit this crime. He then obtained a handgun and unfortunately did the crime. He'll dispose of this weapon and his phone and was paid $5,000 2 days later. For those of you who are content creators, understand there's certain words that you can't say. I mean, you can say it, but it's going to affect your video. Hill testified in Norman's trial in September before jurors convicted Norman, 43, of for hire and insurance fraud charges. In court Thursday, Montgomery's brother, Andre Montgomery's brother, the victim, Andre Montgomery's brother, Darren Griggs, spoke of the effect of this crime on his family, saying, "We are not whole. We will never be again." Judge Ross called Hill's ambush of Montgomery incredibly cold and callous before stating Hill's sentencing. Now, as most of you know, Yagnam, which was the agent who sold the policy, was also charged. He is scheduled to be sentenced November 1st. And Ellis, I forgot her name, first name, Terica. I think it was Terica Ellis, who lured Montgomery, which was also involved. She is going to be sentenced on January 10th. Both of them, Ellis did a plea bargain. I don't recall about Yagnam. I think Yagnam just pleaded. He just pleaded guilty. She did a bargain. So she testified. He did not. If y'all recall during the trial, the defense wanted him to come in. His attorney said he's going to plead the fifth to everything, and so he didn't come in. And the prosecutor didn't require him to come in because he pled guilty. They didn't need him, and so, but she did as a plea bargain. She did. Terica Ellis did testify as a part of her plea bargain. So both of them will be sentenced on January 10th. The FBI and the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department investigated this case. Assistant U.S. Attorney Angie Danis and Gwendolyn Carroll they were the prosecutors in the case. And as y'all know, that is the agent that sold the policy He was charged with conspiracy and mail fraud and some other stuff and fraud, something like that. And then Terica Ellis was charged with the M word for hire. And as you all remember, back in September, Tim Norman, which was also a star, Welcome to Sweetie Pies, the uncle of Andre Montgomery and the son of Robbie Montgomery, he was found guilty on all 3 counts back in September, and also for insurance fraud. The young man who was sentenced today to 32 years, Travell Hill, testified at Tim Norman's trial, as most of you remember from just last month. Tim is scheduled to be sentenced on March 2nd. That's a while from now, isn't it? But his sentencing is March 2nd. So once again, the first person has been sentenced in this Welcome to Sweetie Pies case. It was Travell Hill. Travell Hill was the shooter, and he was sentenced to 32 years in prison. I'm not sure what prison, so if any of you know, please drop down in the comments and let me know, and anybody who also like me wanting to know where he's going to be doing those 32 years. But again, first sentencing, 32 years. So, also in the court today, the family of Andre Montgomery confronted, you can confront the person who's getting sentenced. The family can. They confronted the man who took the life of their loved one on Thursday, highlighting the pain caused by Montgomery's, the crime done against Montgomery, taking his life. U.S. District Judge John Ross sentenced him to 32 years, like I just said. He pleaded guilty in June as a part of his plea bargain. And just seeing if there's any more information here I want to share. So, as you know, whenever someone is getting ready to get sentenced, family and loved ones can speak. They can address the court. So, Andre's sister said, "How can you sleep?" That was his sister's name is Kaylin Griggs. She asked Travell Hill during her address in the court, "How can you sleep? Was it worth $5,000?" Or she said, "Was $5,000 worth it?" And she went on to say, "We are not whole. We will never be again." Montgomery's brother, Darren Griggs, told the court Andre had so much life left to live. Hill also addressed the court Thursday. He was sentenced to 32 years. He also addressed the court. He apologized to Montgomery's family, and he asked Judge Ross for leniency. And so all of this went on, of course, before sentences, as it always do. Travell Hill, the guilty party, he said 2 of his own brothers life was taken in a shooting in the same year that he shot Montgomery. He argued that he never took anyone's life for money, but to protect himself. So in his address in the court, Travell Hill said that he never took someone's life for money, but to protect himself. He said that he was He said that he have a 1-year-old son that he's not been able to meet in person because of his incarceration. That's interesting that he said that he didn't do it for money. He did it to protect himself. What do y'all think that means? He said he did not do it for the money. He did it to protect himself. To protect himself from who? That's interesting. I wish I was live now so we can discuss that. So please drop down in the comments and tell me what you think. And I'll tell y'all what I think that he meant in the comments also. He went on to say, I've been dead inside since the day of this crime. I apologize to everyone in the court. The sentencing recommendation for the charges in life in prison, but both prosecutor Angie Danis and Gwendolyn Carroll and Hill's defense attorney Peter Cohen requested a 30-year sentence in the case. They asked the Judge Ross to give consideration to Hill's cooperation with the authorities. So the reason why the prosecution well, the prosecution, the federal side, the reason why they, instead of life, they said let's do 30 years, is because he cooperated and helped them out, and of course his attorney agreed to it. Before announcing the 32-year sentence, Ross said that Hill's statement about his own brothers made his actions more troubling. So the judge basically said the fact that you lost your brother and you still would do this just makes it even more troubling. I agree. You understand the pain that those cause, yet you did that to Andre, he said. Ross and Hill acted in an incredible... Judge Ross said Hill acted in a incredible, cold, and callous manner. The fact that his life meant so little to you is hard to understand, Judge Ross said. Norman was convicted by the jury of 2 counts. As y'all know, Tim Norman was convicted of 2 counts of for hire and then wire fraud and mail fraud. And again, as I said before, his sentencing is March 2nd. So that is what is going on with this case. So the next sentencing we'll be looking for is Terica Ellis in January. And then when is Yagnam's? I forgot. I just said it and I forgot just that quickly. But Terica Ellis, hers will be in January, and then Tim's will be in March 2nd. And that is the information. If y'all know anything I left out, you can drop down in the comments and let me know. If there's any corrections, please drop down in the comments and let me know. And if you know where he'll be doing his time, let me know that also. And also, where is Tim being held? Tim Norman. Where is he being held until his sentencing? I wonder what's going on with that. Anybody know? Y'all can drop down in the comments and let me know. Thank you so much for watching it. Please like, share, and subscribe.